When the facts get twisted and the lies stack tall, my red, white, and blue heart starts at answering the call. Question everything. Don't swallow the lies they try to sell. 'Cause sometimes logic fails and it drags this nation straight to hell. Conspiracy analysts digging for the truth they try to hide. We the people stand together with our hands on hearts and full of pride. This is my home, my blood, my heritage, my sacred ground. My country's not for sale, and we'll never back down.
What is up? What is up, folks? Good morning. Good to see everybody gathering there in the chat. It is always a pleasure. I was lurking a little bit, so I always try to lurk for a few minutes just to kind of get an idea who's here already before I come in. So, anyway, sorry we're running a few minutes late. I messaged Tommy and told him, I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I went into my quote unquote studio, my game room / studio to get this thing started. And yeah, my 10-year-old was passed out in here, so I kind of had to help him relocate. So anyway, it is a game room too. So it is what it is. He is grabbing a coffee and he is going to be right in. So we'll just keep an eye out for him. And yeah, we'll in the meantime, let me relocate my chat and we will see who's in here waiting on us already. Let's see. We're going to see who all we kept waiting this morning. All right. Whoop, they already quite well. Y'all already got the conversations going big time. All right. Look at there. First one in the house, it appears. Question everything. Hey, buddy. How are you doing this morning? Always good to see you. Yeah, the intro and outro has been a big hit, and I really appreciate you letting me use that. It is it's really, really good. Keza in the house. Good morning, Keza. Let's see. Debbie Smith. What's up, Miss Debbie? Good to see you here. Rod. We got some of our international family in here, it appears. Captain Crunch. Good morning, Captain Crunch. How are you doing? Dutch Silver, always good to see you. Let's see who else we got in here. Friends with Matt. Look, we got us a real star in the house. Hey, everybody give Matt some love now. That he's look, this guy here is one of the ones, and probably other than y'all guys, is probably one of the big reasons I'm still doing this. So there were some times where it got pretty tough, and he was always really helpful, and yeah, he's kept me optimistic. So anyway, good to see you there, Matt. Good to see you. Lynn Sparks. Let's see. Oh, I'll dip it in to say I appreciate this topic because I believe, yes, he did sell this out. Look, that is a very, very common sentiment, and I'm not even claiming whether I do or don't share it. I've been extremely disappointed. And this episode here is going to be a little bit different, but it is not to convince y'all of anything different. It is literally me and him are going to discuss it in a way that I've just not heard it discussed before. Informational purposes only, take it or leave it. I just thought it was interesting, so I asked him to come on so we could talk about it. So, like I said, not trying to convince y'all of anything. It is a different way of looking at it, and just a very interesting topic. So, y'all hang with me. Don't start hitting the end button if if you think I'm trying to convince you that everything's all good, because I know it's rough. Trust me, I basically drive for a living, and so yeah, I'm feeling it. Scarica Kurt, we got two. Look at there, we got two celebrities in the house. Good morning, Scarica. You must not have been to bed yet. You just got done filming, didn't you? Let's see, Basic in the house. Good morning, Basic. Let's see. Sleeping Beauty. Good morning, Sleeping Beauty. Let's see. And y'all, look, no offense if I say good morning to you and it's actually afternoon or evening. You know what I mean? I promise you it's morning for me. So, all right, let's see who else we got in here. Reginator. Good morning, Reginator. Good to see you. I think you popped in yesterday afternoon, yesterday late in the stream. I figured you'd be here early this morning. Roll call. What's up, Crystal? Got another celebrity. Boy, I tell you what, we drew all the big ones out this morning. Uh-huh. Yep, she got a shout out by Candace. I tell you what, anybody that gets a shout out by Candace, that's saying something because she is really particular about who she shouts out. Like the only two I've seen her shout out since, I don't know, a very long time, other than personal friends and stuff like that, would be Crystal and John Bray. So, and I know both of them. Somebody gonna have to hook me up. Hook me up with a shout out. All right, let's see. Let's see who else we got in here. Bonnie made it back this morning. Thank you, Bonnie. Welcome, welcome, and I promise you will not regret it. Aunt B, how you doing this morning, Aunt B? Yeah, Tommy's great. Yep, he's funny. He's really smart, and he's like me. He generally doesn't have issues putting his thoughts into words. Um, yeah, he's like me. He's really good at explaining stuff. Let's see. My wife says I over explain everything. So 135. Good morning, 135. How are you doing this morning? I'm gonna have to speed up or I'm never gonna get done because I'll still be trying to get to the bottom as people are coming in. Let's see. Who else we got? I know there's more down here. I don't want to leave anybody out. I'll be missing some once we get started, so I'm trying to hey Tammy, yo yo yo. Good morning, Tammy. Molly, good morning, Molly. Great to see you here. All right, I got through it for now. We'll see we'll see how many more end up in here. I'm sure there'll be several. We're just getting started. So just to give you kind of a Sleeping Beauty. Y'all welcome Sleeping Beauty is as the newest member. Thank you very much. And I could have swore you were a member too, honestly. I thought you'd gotten one of those free ones, but yeah, I don't know. But thank you for look at there, friends with Matt. All right, Matt, you're gonna have to start thinking of you a topic. So both of you, Sleeping Beauty and Matt, y'all be thinking of a topic y'all want to cover, something that's off the Charlie Kirk topic. I mean, obviously we can talk about Charlie Kirk, but I figure with the member streams, we would just talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. So there is a post up. If you'll go to my post, scroll down, there's one that talks about the member streams. Just drop your topic in there, and we'll definitely talk about it. I canceled Sling. There you go. Hey, this is much better than Sling. It's a whole lot more interactive and fun anyway. All right, let's see. Penny in the house. Hey, Penny. Hey, I appreciate you reaching out to me yesterday, and that was awesome. Steve is he's a really good dude. Yeah, I can't wait to do something with him. But yeah, when he shot me that link and I watched it, I was like, holy shit! Yeah, just so y'all know, yes, y'all's boy got. Matter of fact, hold on, y'all's boy got got more than a plug yesterday. If y'all remember, we were watching that video and commenting on it by Steve Cameron, and it's really good stuff. He does really good work, and so somehow or another he was made aware of it, and so he shot me, he shot me. He commented and said, "Hey, check out my new YouTube video. I did it in response to your video yesterday." So I went and watched it, and I think as far as I know, anyway, it's the first time anybody's ever really, you know, used my stuff in a in their video. Either way, I don't. I know what I'm trying to say here. Um, but anyway, it was awesome. I'm just gonna pull you up and show you a little bit. It was just cool. I was like, holy hell, I'm on somebody else's show. All right, let's see. Let's share this tab instead. All right, y'all guys check this out. We got a minute. As soon as he pops in, we'll drop this.
Tip.
I just wanted to brag a little bit. Uh-oh, didn't go back far enough. Let's see if that was it.
On X, give him a follow. Good guy.
Oh, there's Brett Booth shout out. See, I told you he was the man. There he is getting shouted out by somebody else. See, look at there. Ain't that something? Brett Booth is the man. And y'all go check out Steve Cameron. I don't know if y'all can see my cursor. There's his name right there. This is his X page. But yes, go check him out. He's on X at Steve Cameron. I think it's PR1. But check him out on X and check him out on YouTube. He does have a YouTube channel. He's got several videos on there and does good work. So yes, definitely go check him out. Go give him a subscribe, a follow, whatever, depending on what platform it is you're on. So, all right, here we go. Got to brag a little.
Let's hop on over to Adam's YouTube channel.
Whoop, look at there.
It's called The Real One Podcast. I highly recommend this podcast, folks. Adam is a gem in the growing number of Charlie Kirk researchers in this community. His podcast is essential to this investigation. We're going to play, I picked out a clip here. I did watch the whole podcast. Thank you very much for doing it, Adam.
No, Crystal, he's my homie. You can't have him.
And I'm not just giving Adam props because he covered some of my research. And I've been watching him now for a while. Actually, I think I might have popped up on my radar maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And he does live streams with other people that I respect. Greg Lake is one of them. He's done some streams with Greg. Greg's, I believe,
shout out Greg Lake, the Entheogenic Esquire. If anybody in here has not heard of him or watched or checked out his stuff, please go check out his channel. He's a really good guy. He's a very, very smart guy. He's an attorney. And me and him and Matt actually generally do a stream on Friday nights where we get Greg's take on all the legal stuff and the rest of it also, but mainly the legal. And so go check him out, the Entheogenic Esquire. I will post his link in. I'm gonna try to post it in the chat. If I end up not getting that done, go back to the video description and I'll post it in there. But yes, definitely check out Greg.
He has a legal background, and he puts his.
Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Nosy. What's up, Nosy? I was just fixing to text you, Miss Kim. Good to see you here.
Expert opinion into this investigation. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Greg after I get through this, but primarily, this is an update into the investigation that I wanted to cover on Monday when I first heard about it. It's some information that a researcher by the name of Diligent Denizen brought forth, and he is in contact with family members of Tyler Robinson, and we're talking close family members. So stay tuned for that. Let me get through this. And it's gonna set this up for what Diligent dropped on Monday. So stay tuned all the way to the end. But we're gonna play a clip here by Adam
This is gonna be weird.
of featuring some of my work.
Just so everybody realizes what this is. This is me watching him, watching me, watching him. So if you look at it that way, it's yeah.
And I'll speak on it, some of my thoughts about it. Here we go. It seems that prosecutor Ryan McBride knew that this press conference was coming up, and he knew apparently that the statement that Brooksby had given to news outlets saying that Robinson he chose to remain silent. It seemed to trigger this email.
Yeah, because he had given an interview, and there was an article that came out. I think he just mentioned it, and that article quoted him, as saying that Tyler, basically for all intents and purposes, wasn't cooperating, and that he had chosen to stay quiet, get a lawyer, and obviously, this dude wasn't very happy about it. Okay, I'm going to pause, Adam, right there for a second, just so for people that are tuning in right now. Anyway, I know that could get pretty boring, so yeah, but I had to brag a little bit. That like I said, that's the first time that I know of that my stuff's ever really been featured, I guess you could say, and made me proud. And so yeah, if when you see this, Steve, thank you very much, and myself and everybody watching now would really enjoy a collab live stream. But he did say he would do one, so not sure when yet, but hopefully soon. Cap Crunch, thank you very much for the super chat. Love this channel, absolutely, and we love you. This is, I'm telling you, I try not to brag on myself too much. So besides me and any content that comes from here, this is just a great community and just an awesome place to hang out. So anyway, that is, like I said, I had to brag a little bit. It's just great. Since we got Scarrica in the house, in the flesh, I've been meaning to do this. Whoops. All right, let's see here. We're going to watch us a Scarrica clip. Y'all want to see some Scarrica? Everybody always likes to see some Scarrica. And we will get to that here in a few minutes. But since I'm bragging, your boy's also got his first sponsor. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Just thought I'd let y'all know that. Let's see. So we all going places, guys. We are all going places. All right, let's see. Where's she at? There we go. All right, Scarrica, drop us a comment. Which one you think? Which one should we play? We'll start with this one. Scarrica, while I wait on you to throw one in there. Oh, you haven't seen her? Okay, you haven't seen her yet? So me and Scarrica's fixing to do a sit down. Sorry I hadn't reached out to you before now. But hey, we were talking about possibly today. I'll text you when we get done, see if there's any possible way maybe we could squeeze something in tomorrow. We do have practice tonight. So look, my schedule's been way whacked. It's hard for me to plan ahead. But anyway, just throwing that out there, be thinking about it. I'll holler at you here in a little bit. All right. This is a real short one. This one is just, this one was, Candace going on break. So, all right, let me add this thing in here. Still pretty good. And shout out to Mark because he does amazing editing. I'd love to learn how to edit like that. Not that I do a whole lot of pre-records, but all right, guys, check this out. I'm going to make myself smile so you can see it real good. All right, here we go. Fire in the hole, guys. Who is that in the elevator? Look at there. There's all kinds of stars piled up in that elevator. Why couldn't I step off in that elevator?
I'll be back. July 13th.
And when she gets back, she is gonna fuck some shit up.
I'll be back. July 13th.
I'll be back.
No, it's also possible
Whoops.
that Tyler.
I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to click on that. I'm not going to do that to y'all. I'm not going to do that to y'all. By the way, if anybody watched that last night, I'd like to know what everybody's opinion was. I'm not going to really give my opinion. I'm planning on putting some clips together. What I will say is it went about like I expected it to. Okay, let's see here. Miss Garrica said she suggested. Let's see. When you get the doctorate, okay, that's a good one. Or give up the salary. Okay. Let's see. Play the hair salon one. Okay, I can play the hair salon one. All right, let's see. Hair salon, hair salon. I know I've seen that one. Trying to figure, I don't remember how close to the top it is. Where's the hair salon? Guys, is that a short or is that a video? Sorry, I'm looking. I know I've seen it in here. There's so much good, y'all got so much good stuff on here. Y'all please go check out Scarica. Anybody that has not seen her, seen any of her work, please go check her out. But not only check her out, like just go ahead and subscribe. I promise you will not regret it. Her stuff is hilarious. And look, she's not just funny. If you'll go, hey, look, new people, scroll back a little bit on my lives. Me and her did a live stream a few nights ago, fixing to do another one. But yes, go look her up, give her a subscribe, and promise you will not regret it. Now, I know I seen that hair salon video. Good Lord. Y'all help me out on whether that was a short or not. Okay, it is a short. That's my problem. Okay, I got you. All right, let's see here. Oh, there we go. Erica's hair disaster. Is that the one? I think that's the one you're talking about. Is that it? Regardless, we're going to fire that one off and we'll yeah, and there's the doctor at one too. We'll okay, guys. Oh, well, looks like we got Tommy in the house. Let me go ahead and get this going while I bring him in. I tell you what, YouTube hates me sometimes. I'm telling you. Mm-mm-mm. Here we go.
So what do you want to do today?
Just make me my gorgeous natural blonde self.
What's up, man?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you coming through loud and clear. Sorry
Good
about
morning.
sorry about the delay this morning. I walked in here, and when I did, my 10-year-old was passed out with a blanket and dishes and everything else. I was like, oh, you got to be shitting me.
Oh, so you want to go natural? Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I'm so excited.
You know Scarica, Tommy?
On X, sure, I know that
Yes.
account.
Yes. Yeah, she's on X.
Oh my god, I'm brunette. You said you wanted your natural color. I am blonde. I can't believe you've done this to me. My blonde hair's my.
All right, guys, look, there's your taste. We'll watch the rest of it here in a few. I always love watching those. Like I said, y'all go check out Scarica Kirk. She's really good. We're fixing to be doing another stream, and she needs some watch hours. She does mainly shorts, so obviously when you watch a short, it doesn't add much for watch time. So to get monetized, she needs watch hours. So y'all go, please just go through all of them, put them on replay, watch. All right. So how you been, buddy? Been a minute. How you been, Tommy?
Oh, there, I'm unmuted. I said I'm fine.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm
been
doing
fine.
good. Crazy lately. My 10-year-old, we were not expecting it at all, but ended up, I guess we're going to state, which means we get to go 5 hours over to East Tennessee, and we get to go get a hotel for a few days, depending on how good we end up playing. But yeah, so it's just been crazy practices. They're trying to raise money, so baking and selling and just, I can't remember. Did you have kids?
I not just the one in heaven for now.
Oh, just the one. Oh, God.
So.
Sorry about that.
No, but congrats on going to state. That's exciting for you.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those like a double-edged sword. The wifey's like, because when we got down there to the end, we were starting to wonder, are we actually going to make it? And it's funny. She was like, I don't want to wish them bad, but again, I don't want to end up having to go get a hotel and, do all that to go over to state. She's like, I don't know what I want them to do. I was like, well, might as well wish them well, and we'll just see how it goes.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, good luck to them.
Yep. Hopefully we'll do good. Yeah, and for y'all newcomers, that's what super chats will probably end up getting spent on, just so you know, is hotel, gas, and all that good stuff for that week. So, yeah, I've been thinking about reaching back out to you. We said last time that we'd get back together sometime, and then I saw you on Matt with Matt. Black Line Brief, and I thought, yeah, I got to definitely get you back on here.
Yeah, a lot of what I told Matt has now become the major theory,
right,
for Charlie. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Yeah, you tend to have you seem to have that effect, I guess, or that yeah. You nail it a lot.
I have no idea what's going to happen with this trial, though. That's what's
Right.
got me puzzled. I have no foresight or clairvoyance into that at all.
Yeah, it's really hard to, because I mean, if you look at it and just use common sense, look at the way things, like how the system's supposed to work, it's easy to come up with a conclusion. But we all know, just based on how it's gone from day one, that doesn't necessarily apply.
I think they need the public to believe that Tyler Robinson is going to make a deal,
Right.
or that he is in some way giving up his own innocence. I think they need the public to kind of write it off as a foregone conclusion that he is guilty and that he even knows it. And now they're just working out the details in court.
Yep.
And then when that happens, they Jack Ruby him, as some people have said, or they suicide him in the jail cell. I don't think that, with the texts that have come out, where granted it's just from a witness claiming to have a conversation with the family, right? So that's all. We just have that back and forth on the blue background.
Yes.
So I could have put that together, just to illustrate my point for what I think they were doing 4 months ago. But this is what I've been saying, is that the family surely knew the day of that their son was telling them, I didn't do it. I've been set up. I thought these other people were working with me. Now I know they're working against me. I can't get a hold of so-and-so, all those things. And then they see the news, and the news is publishing his photo and messages later. So I think the parents are aware, and these messages now seem to confirm that, that he and his defense and his, the people who are allied with him, the people that sit with him in court, his parents, his neighbors, his cousins, etc., they're all aware he's being railroaded. He has fake evidence against him. So that, I think they need to go away. Like, the feds need that all to go away. They can't run out the trial and have a conclusive trial with the evidence they have. So that's my
I agree.
My big question mark here, because all the other parts of this case so far I can kind of guess at, and whether or not I'm 100% right or just near enough, like, I think I figured all that stuff out pretty well. The end, I don't know what they're going to do, and I just know that they have to end up getting rid of.
They have to in some way. Yeah. I agree. Are you familiar with Steve Cameron on X?
Not just by you mentioning it. No.
Okay. All right. He's really good, and check him out. He's always got a lot of good stuff on the case, especially. But so yesterday I was going through one of his videos, and so first time I had seen it, but there was an email that, and shout out to Penny in the chat. She actually is the one that got him the information. Penny Copeland. She's on X. Y'all go give her a follow on X. Hey, Tommy, she'd be a good follow. She's a researcher and always comes up with some good stuff. All that said, so it was an email from, oh Lord, what's that one prosecutor's name? I've said his name 100 times in the past 2 days. Anyway, it'll come to me here in a minute. But anyway, he sent this email to Sheriff, what was his name? Man, my brain is just like flatlined this morning. Sheriff, what's the sheriff from Washington County? Good Lord. Sheriff Nate, Lord have mercy. I'm gonna have to go back and pull up my notes. Regardless, anyway, he had give I guess he'd give an interview. I think it was like the Washington Post, or maybe it was one of those. They quoted him though as saying that Tyler, that like there was no interview or interrogation or what have you. Well, then he had the press conference coming up. Well, he got an email from the prosecutor that said, do not, like, absolutely do not, all in caps, like, do not say that Tyler, and he even worded it like this, that Tyler invoked his Fifth Amendment rights. And, it's one thing to say, do not, do not say that he's not cooperating. Do not say that he wouldn't talk to us. But literally to spell it out like that, that he do not say that he invoked his constitutional rights. But regardless, it's like I said, the reason why, to me, Brooksby, good Lordy. But the reason why, in my opinion, is because they have to keep that narrative. They don't want the narrative of he's not cooperating. He wanted to speak to an attorney. He wouldn't say anything to us. They want the narrative that the guy, his parents recognized him. They talked him into, coming over. Then they turned him in literally, and then he got to the jail and spilled his guts basically, and then like you said, we're going to just sort it out in trial now. Foregone conclusion. And, to know that he didn't want to talk to him and that he wanted an attorney and everything, that kind of, it's hard to hold that narrative when the guy is not. And look, I've said 1,000 times, the reason why his parents, quote unquote, turned him in, they didn't turn him in. They took him to the jail so he could turn himself in to keep himself from getting shot. I mean, Sheriff Bigsby said as much. So,
right.
I mean, if I had seen a picture of anybody that even looked similar to me on the news, you know, saying, "Look, help us find this person," and especially in a smaller community, there's no way I would just hide in the corner somewhere. I mean, like eventually they are going to find you, whether it was you or not. You're better off going and getting it sorted out. So that's all. That's what I think about that.
Yes, especially when he already knows he's being implicated, and they're releasing not just his photo, but they're also talking to his family and calling them and saying, your son has already been named for this. He better turn himself in or he's going to get shot in the process.
Because that was what happened, right? The family friend called and said, "Hey, yeah."
Just to try to scare distance between the family and him. Because if he reaches out to his parents and says, "Mom and Dad, I really screwed up. You remember a couple weeks ago, I was out, on the back deck, and I was telling you it's really stupid for Charlie Kirk to be doing his event there. It's a really bad venue. It's really stupid for him to do that. And it's because I had just given Grandpa's rifle to these people I met online, and they're going to shoot him." Like if he had said that 30 minutes after Charlie Kirk was killed, and because he believes his rifle was just used to kill Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
Then his parents would then go, "Oh my God, what have you done? Okay, where are you? Let's meet you. We need to get, we need to go to law enforcement." And then they'd see that the law enforcement's already begun to railroad their kid, and they know. I mean, I would know this, and I don't have. So the next logical step is, as soon as they mark the man, they go chase him down in a man hunt. It's not a man catch.
No.
It's not like it's not a man search. It's a man hunt. Like they're going to hunt that person. And so we'd like to think, oh, it's just to find them. It's just an archaic term. They're not really going to go kill them. But then I point you to the Boston Marathon bombing suspects being chased through the Newtown, Massachusetts neighborhoods, or what was it called? Like Lake Town or Newtown, Massachusetts.
I think so. Something
where
like that.
The neighbors are watching as the one kid is run over and the other one is shot a bunch of times before being pulled out of the boat and then given a tracheotomy in the ambulance so he can never speak. So I just say, if you have a patsy, the patsy knows it's a cat and mouse. I'm on the run, and it's not just run from the law, because that's how the bad guys within the law will go and execute you. They'll say, "Oh, he's on the run. He's armed and dangerous. He won't turn himself over. He's in his home or in his apartment. He went to his parents' house," whatever the case may be. And then they say he was shot and killed in a standoff with police. You never see the body cam footage. You never see him putting his hands up begging for his life. So there's a reason. It's not just the time and the sun setting that we don't have video evidence of him turning himself over to the police. It's not simply the time, but it's also the manner in which the police receive him and are threatening him and are attempting to get him to reach for something. Put your hands up. Another one says, put your hands down. They're trying to get somebody
scratch your ass.
Just confusing. Exactly. And so that's why he goes to his parents. That's why his parents called the bishop. That's why they have multiple people in the neighborhood and in the community now aware of his situation, so that they can't do that. And what do you think? The police aren't being called and being told, "Hey, this kid isn't just saying he's guilty. This kid is saying that he's being railroaded. This kid said someone else took his rifle a week ago. This kid said his roommate set him up." You don't know what kind of points Tyler Robinson was putting together for them.
Right. And
so
we don't hear any of that, of course.
So for all we know, the other local witnesses have a lot more than they're saying. And, if it were Tyler Robinson going, "Oh my God, they set me up. They're screwing me over." Would you think you're just going to sit quietly and say, "I don't want to say another word. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to only invoke my Fifth Amendment right"? Or would you be telling your parents everything before you ever talk to the police, because they need to speak to the attorneys without being, recorded inside the jail cell? Everything that he does with his attorney, we can say is privileged, but it's also being recorded. And we just have to honor that they're not listening to the recording and that they're not recording when the attorney's in there. So that's bullshit. We can tell that too. The state right now is trying to railroad an innocent kid, innocent of murder, probably guilty of conspiracy to commit murder.
Yes.
Right. If he's online and he's talking to a bunch of kids on Discord and they're being little trans twerps saying, oh, wouldn't it be great if Charlie Kirk were dead and only one of them is a real person, but 3 of them are feds, 2 of them are chat bots, and one of them is
Whitmer. Remember that? Like
yeah,
out of the
I'm in
12
Michigan. I
people?
know well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if 10 people in the Discord spin off, right? He's in a trans Discord and they say, hey, I created a separate little offshoot Discord just for, the cool kids from the Discord. And so he goes, oh, okay. And it ends up just being, as I said, a handful of feds, a handful of chat AI bots from the feds, and Lance Twiggs and a few other people that we would consider handlers or informant nudges, whatever. And they tee it up so that when we look at it in hindsight, it just looks as though Tyler Robinson had access to a rifle that they later found outside the campus. And there it is, open and shut from there. We don't have to guess. But we have the neighbors saying, yeah, we had strange people come into the house prior to. They collected something in a couple cars with out-of-state plates. We don't know what it was. Well, I can fill in the blank there. Did they borrow that rifle so that they could then later stage it? And he never had to transport it or carry it ever? Because it doesn't ever look to me like Robinson, whether it's him on campus or someone else, or it was him and then they swap someone else to look like him after. The person on the video from the surveillance doesn't appear to have a rifle. And I don't believe they ever took it apart and put it back together. A screwdriver can just as easily be collected in a garage when you stop by to pick up a gun. So you say, well, he's inspecting the rifle over here. One of our other guys nicked a screwdriver from the box over here sitting in the corner on the garage floor. No one notices. And then that day, Tyler Robinson's completely screwed because he just thinks he's there to witness and collect the rifle from whoever borrowed it. And instead, he's seeing he's essentially on the jumbotron of the community, right? He's being published on the media. His face is on the news. And he's being told privately that they know what he's done. So they're trying to Black Mirror chase him into a guilty corner and then execute him and tell everyone else in the public, we got him in 33 hours flat. We got
33 hours. Yep. No, exactly. And look, one thing that I always like to really, to really point out and drive home is, for one, I believe that he was never meant to walk through the door at the jail. I mean, and I know you feel the same. So
to just interject there, didn't he try to turn himself in and they declined him originally? And then he had to go somewhere else and turn himself in?
I don't know about that, but I do know that, so initially the press conference from Nate Bixby said, he plainly said that he was concerned of being shot, that there was concern between him and the sheriff, the ex-sheriff friend or the ex-deputy friend and the family of him being shot. And so obviously he's not suicidal, but yet in a message that comes out later, it says, I'm going to lead them to, such and such spot in the desert and go out in my, my own terms. So those two things are not compatible with each other. And I feel like that, again, we get all the dumb shit is from these unconfirmed, probably unconfirmable, letters and messages and stuff. This is all digital shit that can easily be. And like I said from day one, I feel like most of this, allegedly, probably most of that was all his little buddy Lance.
Right. That's why they know they cannot request the metadata between the devices actually communicating. They have to actually just use a screenshot or a photograph of a screenshot because they know.
I've never heard of shit like that. I mean,
no, of course, no one has.
Crazy.
It's absurd.
Crazy.
If I had a photograph of a letter that I'm claiming you wrote, and it's admitting to all these crimes, all these terrible crimes, and I'm saying Adam Thomas just confirmed to me he's admitting all these crimes. Look at all the guilt he has. And do I have an actual signed, admission of guilt? No, I have a photograph of one. I made it up, but it's here and it's a nice little picture of one. That's not evidence. And they wouldn't use that as evidence against you, and they wouldn't be right to use it as a photograph of messages is not the same thing as an actual message.
Right, that you can go back in, check the metadata, and verify, and so,
But the
and
point
look,
is not to use the messages in court. The point is to
right.
just argue that they have enough to charge him
A
for
lot
how
of
they
that to
are.
me is for the court of public opinion. I mean,
Right.
even though they probably will get thrown out and they probably won't be let in. I would hope not. If they do, we got issues. But
Well, this is why I'm saying that they're running out the time on each of these preliminary steps at the
Yeah.
maximum possible. And they're saying, look, both parties are going to have a lot of, work to do. So
Mhm.
as much time as we can give them, that's great. While still trying to, again, run out the clock. Like that's all they need to do. Right
Yep.
now, as many people in the public believe he's guilty as are ever going to.
Mhm. It's
And
not going to get better.
and you have a bunch of people who are starting to question it. So right now they need to snap it up. And they've been trying to give every bit of time they can to the believable part, which is hammer the evidence, let everyone know how much evidence there is and how strong the case is,
Mhm.
and then make it go away. And I think the make it go away they're going to do is make him go away because they
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, I don't know. And for that, I don't know how it's going to work out.
No, I mean that's the because when you get the Gary Meltons of the world, all just always
Gary
referencing-
Meltdown?
Yeah, Gary Meltdown Melton. You get people like him that literally the court documents, the probable cause document, all that, look at all this evidence. Like, dude, that's not evidence. That is a list. That is a trust me, bro list of things that they claim they have. And not only, okay, let's say they have everything that they say they have in those documents. Okay, well, what about all the underlying stuff, all the data and stuff on how this was all collected and, tested, and how did they come up with the conclusions? Because right now, that's all they got's a bunch of conclusions. The defense has said it over and over again. They're not getting the underlying stuff on like the DNA where,
It's because it's fake.
Right.
Everyone can tell it's fake.
Right.
So we don't have to ask like, why aren't we getting that? That's we know why. It's because it's not legitimate and doesn't actually give credence to the case they want you to believe in.
and if anybody
If they
has
show
ever,
you the evidence they have, it breaks the argument they're making. So they have to make their
Yeah.
argument and then hold the evidence over here and say, we have all of this. We just can't let you see it.
we just
So
can't let you see
what
it.
we're all getting is a public, I guess, lesson, a huge, big, fat lesson in how the state is now going to railroad innocent people, whether or not they were ever a part of the plan
Yeah.
to begin with. Like, did Tyler Robinson stumble into this, or was he a mark for the last 18 months or 24 months? Was he just the kid that the CIA flipped through the Rolodex on and thought was the best person to pick?
Hey, did you
And-
see that clip from that congressional hearing about
No.
when you said the CIA thing? Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'll show it to you. You keep going, but I'm going to see if I can find this clip.
It's all
I
right.
played it yesterday. But yeah, oops. I hate that how those shorts automatically start playing. Good Lordy, it's aggravating. But yeah, like I
Anyway,
said,
what I
like
was
you
going to
said,
say
it's-
was that you have people in public being railroaded now, and the state is just going to lay the case forward and say, doesn't matter that the evidence doesn't line up. And if you question it, we're just going to label you. And so I do have a kind of a hesitancy to say, everyone should just go watch Baron Coleman and Candace Owens.
Right.
It's now become like, okay, so if you question the evidence that the state provides, you're now sequestered over here to the internet for podcasters, and there is no in real life pushback against this. There is no protest at the trial or at the courthouse. There is no what is the actual legal. We're watching theater on TV. We see the trial, and all we can do is just be a spectator and then comment on it after. And if you're watching something completely railroaded as we are, someone should be throwing a flag on the field and saying, stop this. Let's, and we're not seeing that. So that's what we're getting is a big lecture in what's to come, which is no one's coming to help. And the opposition is just on the screen.
Yeah. Yep. Nobody, there's no referees, nobody calling times. Like it's just, it is what it is. If we say you done it, you done it. Let's see, where is that video? I'm telling you what, I can't never find anything when I'm looking for it. Um, it would help if, God. Anyway, they were having a hearing on MK Ultra was what it was, and one of the guys, I can't remember who they were, credentials or anything, but obviously they were qualified to be speaking on this issue, and so. It got down to one point, and he was like, he mentioned Butler and Crooks, and then he said, and I know a bit concerned, or there's a lot of people that theorize that with the Charlie Kirk incident that there was some kind of conspiracy, and some kind. Anyway, he was like, I cannot confirm. He's like, I hate to speculate. I cannot confirm what type of. He said what type of method they used on these individuals to have them do this. So basically, it wasn't like I'm theorizing that there's a chance they could have done something to convince this person to go do this act. He's just like, I'm not sure what method they used. And it was crazy. I wish I could find the clip. I'd show it. But anyway, I played it yesterday. It was,
Yeah, but when those guys are testifying, that's theater too. That's for you to go, oh man, see, now both of those guys must have been MK Ultra, instead of right. No, those two dudes were each set up by your government, and they weren't MK Ultra. They were just weaselly little autistic kids who got easy pickings by the FBI and the NSA.
That's what I was
the FBI can say,
have to be that.
I'm an ATF agent in your town, and I saw you were at the shooting range, and how would you like to be best buddies? And I can take you under my wing, so to speak, and make you my little eagle bro, and you can be my ATF buddy. And here, hold these rangefinders and climb up on that roof over there. Don't worry, you're with me. And then hold this, and you can watch the big show from right over here. Bang, a bullet goes through your head. And then later, we tell everyone that you, Michael Thomas Crooks, were a shooter out to kill Trump, instead of you were escorted onto the premises. You were walked around by an ATF agent. You're then on the roof with a rangefinder. They never said you were on the roof with a gun. Right. And then they go up there, and they've got the police holding the rifle they say they found him with, and cleaning his mess off of the top of the roof.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they're pressure washing. They're pressure washing him off the roof.
And what's better than leading a kid into position to put him on a roof, to then put him right in that same spot, like Simba in The Lion King being put in the gorge by Scar at the beginning of the movie, just to end up killing Mufasa, right? It's not that Simba actually did it. It's that Scar got away with assassination, and he blamed the kid.
Yeah.
So this is what the FBI does. The FBI is Scar from The Lion King. They're going to lure some dumb kid into a spot, and then the target gets murked, and the whole community gets led to believe it was the kid and not the assassin who is running the show. So that's the analogy I would give to the folks, is you watch the kid get fingered for the murder. You have to wonder what adult put him there, which group of people led him to that position to make those decisions, to be there, to give the gun away, or otherwise to drive the car, to park outside, but inside the fence at Butler, to group people in. It's all very strange. Like you watch the video of the Michael Thomas Crooks kid, or was that his name?
Yeah.
Matthew Thomas Crooks.
Matthew Crooks, yeah.
And he's walking around the event, and for a while, he's just following another dude that we're told was one of the on-site agents. And we later find, well, he was an FBI agent, but it really was an active duty ATF agent. It's a deep cover FBI agent. He's telling everyone he's ATF. Similarly, at the shooting recently with Trump, when everyone's looking around like, what's going on? There's one dude doing crowd control, and he tells the woman, don't worry, I'm ATF. It's a very convenient cover, because no one really even knows, like, what is ATF? Is that oh, okay. They don't think about, when you say FBI, they'd go, show me a badge. It's almost like I'm gonna challenge that. But if you say, move along, I'm ATF, move along, I'm Secret Service, people are just like, oh, okay. Ooh. So that seems to me very suspicious. Matthew Thomas Crooks is following an agent, and then he's allowed to get into position, almost as if, as everyone had suggested, was he told where to be? Was he told where he could be to get a good view? He's got a rangefinder, but he's not carrying a rifle.
Right.
Right. We see that. Then we see him later, just magically, he appears with a rifle on the roof after he was shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we also have the video of the guy on the water tower fixing to move real quick as soon as the shooting all goes down.
I mean, it sure appears that there's somebody up there moving around. Like,
so multiple shooters, multiple spooky things happening, and a kid always at the end. You're supposed to find a kid dead. The parents don't want to communicate. They got a payday, and everything goes away. And think about it like this: if you were Matthew Thomas Crooks's parents, for all we know, sitting at home, Adam and Tom don't know, but maybe these parents have had 18 to 21 years of hell. Maybe he has been just a hellish kid, that he's unruly. He has tantrums. He's screaming. He's combative. He's like there's something off with him. And maybe the same thing with Tyler James Robinson, where he says really creepy and dark and unnerving things. And his parents love him, but it's like there's something that they really hope he gets over someday, that he says some really creepy things. He does some really weird things to the animals in the whatever. And so in each of those cases, then the parents go, our son was just whacked. We know there's something more nefarious about this. We think he could have been set up, but his internet friends, probably one of them was an agent, and maybe the government did everyone a favor. Like, can you imagine why Matthew Thomas Crooks's parents, as sick as that is to think, they're at Costco 6 days later, spending $1,400.
Right.
Previously, they had a lien against their house.
Yep.
So they must have gotten a payday after their kid goes missing and then is killed on the roof. Because remember, they had said they didn't know where their kid was for 6 hours. Then they released the ID of the shooter.
Yep.
In Butler, and for 2 hours we were told it was a different kid with a different face. Then they released Matthew Thomas Crooks, and his parents are then coming forward, and it was all a big thing.
And it's like, always the same kind of kid too. It's always the highly intelligent, just strange, nerdy,
maybe off-putting to people in public, didn't get along with a lot of his classmates, but had friends.
Yep. And there's a reason for that. Those are always the easiest ones to, hey, buddy, because they haven't been able to connect with people socially like most do, so they're really easy targets.
You find a kid who's looking oily and pimply alone at the gun range, looking around.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, buddy, I see you're looking at that. You ever shot one before? Would you like to?
Would you like to?
Could I? And so you once a week now have a new shooting buddy and someone who you can be programming. And every Monday through Friday, you're in with your CIA pals saying, feed me the lines and let's run them through again. What are the things I need to say to subconsciously trigger this kid and make him go, yeah, it is unfair. And yeah, you're or whatever the thing is. Maybe you don't want him to be angry or aggressive. Maybe you think this kid wants to be syndrome from, I'm going to be such a retard here because I'm just using Disney metaphors now, but this is helpful for a family friendly show.
It is.
The Incredibles with syndrome, like he's a little off. He's a little out there. He's maybe a little deviant and definitely dangerous and willing to be violent to be, egotistically seen as the hero. So they find a kid like that. And they're like, instead of shunning him and saying, go home, like, we'll just bring him in and let him think he's going to be a hero. And let him think like he's going to be a ride along for a day. Only the ride along ends with him being fingered as the shooter and hopefully killed on sight. And so I think that's what happened in Butler. And I think they were planning for probably that at UVU. I think part of why everyone's still confused and looking around and wondering is what's going on is they didn't end up catching up with their guy where they had him on surveillance at the Wendy's ordering food or Dairy Queen right after.
Right.
So he goes and he gets a chicken sandwich or something after he goes and shoots Charlie Kirk. It's 29 minutes later. He's ordering food with a big smile on his face. That doesn't compute with, oh my God, I feel sick to my stomach. I never thought this would come out. This is, all these things. So to me, it seems like they told him, be here. Then it goes south. Then they go, okay, scratch that. Be here instead. And then that goes south because they still don't have their other ducks in a row. They can't go and nab him and arrest him at a Wendy's, and they can't go and have a shootout with a kid that isn't carrying his gun.
Right.
So they're like, wait, how do we do this now? Quick, wait, what do we? And it scrambles from there. And so the messages that they had originally, where they're saying, I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory, I'm going to go out and buy a gun. Where's the footage of him going into a gun store to buy a gun that day?
Exactly.
Where's the record of that? Actually, he would sign paperwork to apply and get denied.
And it's always funny every time this happens. The FBI, ATF, the
ATF,
they always come out afterwards and say, "Oh yeah, he was on our radar.
We collected all the
time.
records, so we're it's evidence against him now. We'll be able to release it in 65 years."
Yeah. But they always say like, this is somebody that was of interest for a while. That's somebody they've been looking at for a while. But
well, here it's like an edgelord thing. The filters for their AI when their comments online get filtered, whether they're looking at 4chan or Twitter or Facebook, they're looking at people's comments and they're just they're doing an automated reply filter system. So like someone who says go K yourself is going to get flagged because that person maybe it's just for the TOS, but you can imagine the person then has to review it and go, look at the rest of the context. Was it a serious comment? Was it a threat? Was it a person replying to their friend? And we have to know the context that this is how they communicate. So if someone is online acting like a total edgelord, like his own parents said, Tyler James Robinson's online doing memes, thinking he's a groyper. He's posing as the Pepe the Frog meme for Halloween. Matthew Thomas Crooks, his parents also said he's like criminally online, like he's online all the time, terminally online.
Yeah.
Then these kids would be so saturated in internet culture that they would be saying and typing things that on their own would look like terroristic threats and may yet be, but how they're typing them, how they mean them, it's just they're doing their little internet lingo that they don't actually mean. And I hate to say this because it sounds soft, but if someone says, I'm going to kill you, they're not actually threatening to kill you. It's them saying, oh, that was annoying. Oh, I didn't like what you just said or did. Like if you're in a game, you're playing against someone. I don't know. You make up a scenario. The person gets a point on you and they mutter, oh, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Or, I'm going to blow you up now. And it's 2K. They're playing a basketball game, but the person on the chat now has that registered to their AI profile. And the NSA is keeping track of how many people say how many things. So whether it's you and your buddies playing Call of Duty saying, I'm going to shoot him in the head right now, watch, boom, got him. Or it's a person perpetually all day online trolling, thinking they're being cute and trolling. And it's just for themselves to be aggressive and angry. But all they're saying is Charlie Kirk deserves to die. Someone should kill him tomorrow. Someone should blow up his whole family. And they would never do it. They're just hot-headed keyboard spouting off. Then someone approaches them and says, because they've looked, they're like, this kid is a hothead. He said this a million times. It would come naturally to him to just agree if we started saying it around him. You can get a guy like Matthew Thomas Crooks or Tyler James Robinson in an internet group to first believe they've just received an invitation to a group of like-minded individuals. It's just people who think like them and post like them, LOL. And then instead it's feds chat that have been created by the feds, the bots, to keep you posting, keep you incriminating yourself.
Yeah.
And then they have enough data against you to say, look, the operation can be pulled off against him. It's clear. This is a guy who we don't have to feel bad about setting up. Matthew Thomas Crooks, we don't have to feel bad about setting him up. Agents, look at some of the things he has said. You have daughters, you have wives. Look at some of the things that he's posted. And they'll go, yep, this kid would kill if he were given the opportunity. So we're going to give him a fake opportunity. And then we're going to catch him before he kills them, a catch and kill operation, and we kill him instead. Tyler James Robinson, if he's online saying, yeah, it is stupid for Charlie to be there. Yeah, someone could shoot him. I would do it, but I'm not the ballsiest guy in the world. And then they go, we would do it, but we don't have a rifle. And he goes, oh, well, I have grandpa's rifle, but I would never do it myself. And then he gives it to them.
Shooting iron.
Exactly. And then big mistake, because now he's the one he's the bag man. He's there literally with the backpack, ready to receive his rifle again from whoever just used it. They never used it. They planted it. They told the cops, here's where it is. Now go find it. And he's the shooter. He's on the move right now. He's 3 hours away from home. Go get him. And that was the whole rat race right there, was to find him within that window of time.
Yes. Get him before find him before he finds us. You know, and one thing though I always like to point out is in that letter, he says that he hasn't got the rifle yet. You know, that something to the effect of he calls it the drop point. I mean,
he says he stashed it.
Yes, he did.
In a drop point.
At the drop point. Yes.
But no, but you're reading messages that
point.
So you're looking at those messages as if they're still real. And I don't believe that they are.
Yeah.
I believe while he is scrambling around, while Tyler Robinson is probably on his phone at the Wendy's or wherever the Dairy Queen, people are going to be mad if I don't know which one, but I don't. He's seen Queen. It is it. Okay. Well then tell me, man. So he's at the Dairy Queen and he's texting. He's got his phone out and he's looking around and he's doing his thing. And I think he's texting someone saying, yo, where are you? I'm supposed to be meeting up with you. I'm here. You just blew me off at the last spot. Now you told me I'll meet you here. Now you're blowing me off at this spot. I think that's the look on his face. And he's kind of confused. He's trying to keep his cool.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, they keep spinning him off and telling him, no, over there, because they're buying time for themselves to be setting up this chain of messages, this chain of communication that I don't think is real. Like if Lance Twiggs is at the house that they share, then he could be sitting at Tyler's computer with Lance's own cell phone up, and Lance could be sending, okay, so, hey, where are you? And then, oh, I'm over. So Lance could be at his house sending messages for both parties back and forth, carrying out a conversation with himself to incriminate Robinson.
Especially when Tyler sees messages going out in his name, he especially wants to go see mom and daddy and get to the jail because he realizes, oh shit, you know, this is happening. I honestly figure it was a Freudian slip, allegedly by Lance. I mean, I've just thought from day one that those messages, if they were not typed up by a Fed or something like that, then I figure it would be by Lance. And it was and in that case, I just always seen that as possibly a Freudian slip or something when he said the drop point.
Yeah, I don't know.
And maybe not, but it seems like strange language to use intentionally, because that would indicate that, I mean, a drop point is.
Well, I just don't think it's a Freudian slip. I think you're looking at the messages. They look like they were written by someone who has a different perspective and information on the case. It looks like it's written from someone who knows all the data points of evidence they're going to use against him. Yeah. And they're then trying to write them in to the script. And they're using the words that they would be labeled as. So they didn't find the gun under the bushes where I could stash it. He didn't say it that way. He says the drop zone, or the drop point, which you would only say if you knew the gun was collected there. And he's never planning on having the gun collected there. He's only thinking he's going to stash it there. So he would think of it as like a hiding spot, not what the cops would think of it as, his drop zone.
Well, the other thing I considered too is that some of those messages could have possibly been Tyler. Maybe Tyler said that he had to pick up this gun from the drop point. Maybe he said that, and then maybe there's gaps in there that are filled in by someone else. That's something else I've considered, because
I don't think that those messages are organic, and I don't think
either.
That he.
But I don't
wrote
either. Exactly. No,
I think they were written to be received as though he was writing them. Like we have to still read them as if he wrote them,
right?
Because they're going to be released to the public. The only reason that those messages were drafted is for us to see. And for us to then see the court using so that we blow off the attention of the case and go, there you go. I guess it's fine.
Yep. No, I agree.
Those messages aren't going to hold up in court. They're just to get them past the line of charging him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any way that they would hold up in court. And look, a lot of people are like, but they're using them. I mean, yeah, at the preliminary, we don't know what's actually going to be led in at trial. At the
Yeah, he could be
preliminary,
acquitted as soon as they actually look at the evidence at trial.
right,
That's
right,
that's the thing
exactly.
that the state doesn't want to have, and that's why I keep saying they're just going to have to do something different and put something in his food. But what's the Discord username that he was posting as? And I don't remember it. You might.
I can't
But it
remember.
was different from the one that he had been using within
Yes.
that trans Discord thing. So
Yes.
this was like a couple. I mean, it was weeks after this had initially all happened, back
Something
in
monkey
September, October.
or something like that. I can't remember. It was weird.
But I had said, and I'll have to go back and find the clip, but I had said it's really strange that like you can create your own Discord server within Discord. You can create an app that mirrors Discord almost flawlessly and spoofs
Mhm.
it. And so, you can, it's just odd to me that we are seeing messages from a Discord with his username appearing almost incorrect, and in a complete admission. First, just a little high level admission, 50,000 foot view. Hey, everybody, it was me. I did it. So sorry for the attention. I'm going to cause everyone. By the way, it was me again, just in case it wasn't clear. Okay, ta-ta, so long, farewell.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And then all the other messages that we were told first were
And
Discord
thank God
messages.
you didn't have anything to do with this.
And then they said, oh, wait, no, they weren't Discord messages. We just created
Yes.
that image to show you the messages. These were actually texts.
Yes.
All of that screams, if you don't
The
have the
story has
forensic
changed.
data to show that that's actually true. Exactly. They're changing the story to align. And so I wonder if they're just Discord messages, could the FBI not be spoofing a Discord?
Well, yes. And what I've said from day one is that, Discord came out and said nothing was planned. There was
Nothing's
nothing
on their
Discord.
server.
But
none of those messages that had appeared on the news.
Yes.
Right. And I understand why Discord would do this. They don't want their brand hurt.
Well,
Another
but
Charlie Kirk's assassination was possibly planned on our app. Like, they don't want that. So they come out to say,
that's true.
we scrubbed our servers. We look at our servers every day for child pornography. We look at them for all kinds of other criminal content, how to make a bomb. None of that stuff can appear on Discord. So they have to look at their servers every day for that stuff. They can go and look at their servers to find these messages. And they came out and said, none of that exists.
Yeah. And look,
they didn't have to do it, but they
may
were
have been
willing.
telling the truth. They may have been telling the truth because trust me, our federal government, the FBI and all that, they have the ability to go into something like Discord and set up a Discord that is not even
right. They spoof the server.
be
They
their
create
servers instead of a
phishing
Discord
server. They create a
Yes.
little link and they just say, hey, here's a link to join our separate Discord. So like I said a while ago, they just say, here's a little offshoot, little side chat for the
Yeah.
cool kids in this trans furry organization. There's 120 of us in here, but we have 10 of us that are really cool and we're planning something big. And we're really not happy with Charlie Kirk coming to campus, and maybe it'll be the last time he ever does. And they say
Right.
that to a few people on campus, and one of them bites and one of them has a rifle. Like, they can offer, like, just imagine this. If you're at the ATF and it's May and you're getting the order, like you're sitting at the ATF and you work with your buddy at the Naval Surface Weapons Division, and they're putting in an order for an anti-personnel device. They're going to blow someone up, and you're like, geez, that's great. Okay, well, I guess, hey, that's what we do. And so they
That's what we
say,
do.
we need to have a patsy. We need to have multiple people involved. And so here are the credentials, and they start working it backwards. They reverse engineer it at the beginning of 2025, who their fall guy is going to be. And so they have to look and see who at the ATF has, all the records for the people who own or use antique rifles or a rifle of this style. And they pick and choose what that's going to be first so that they can reverse engineer it, because they know what the actual murder weapon is going to be. It's going to be this little explosive. And to mirror that, they have a demolitions expert say, you could choose any of these frangible rounds coming from one of these subsonic rifles, and you'll have a believable enough story. And so they go and they try to reverse engineer it and say, who locally at one of these places, and we like UVU because the CIA, all of our buddies are all over there. So that's going to be our hotspot. That's going to be our location that we do it. Call them and see who they know, who's going to have a rifle, and maybe they help pick the target. Maybe Lance Twiggs is a friend of the church with the Mormons who are also running the op. And so it's not just that he was the roommate of the kid, but maybe it's more that the kid was his roommate. Does that make more sense? Like maybe they found Tyler Robinson through Lance Twiggs.
Oh, there's a good, I've considered that for sure. Yeah.
Maybe there is a reason that Lance Twiggs is given immunity and is being allowed to completely just change his story and up and leave and become a different person entirely, change his character, because maybe he was the conduit. Like maybe he's the nephew or the son of someone in intelligence and his name is already fake. And they just go, we're going to dangle you out at the university like some bait. And the wrong people are going to be attracted to you and become friends with you. And when you say these things and entrap them, we're going to send you to summer camp at the CIA school. You're going to come off the farm knowing all these different, tricks and rhetoric and how to get someone to incriminate themselves. And then when you talk to this new friend of yours, it's all about how you hate how that kid online is so hateful.
Right.
And you'd love it if someone killed him. And like, you just start seeding these violent things right next to some love bombing with this kid who just wants to be accepted. And you turn him into someone who's willing
to do whatever,
to allow his gun to be used to kill someone. And like his parents said, Tyler would never go and shoot Charlie Kirk. He would never actually do it. They don't believe in his heart he'd ever have the ability to pull the trigger. And I think the people that set him up knew that too. They just need him to let us borrow your gun. Let you be in on the conspiracy. Let you be in on the plan. And that's good enough.
That's good enough.
We'll convince the ATF and the FBI agents in a skiff with the lights dimmed that this is a dangerous man. Here, just like what we do when we see predator poachers and when Alex Rosen goes and stings these guys who are messaging who they think is a 13-year-old.
Right.
They're willing to commit the crime. They're there to do it. They are as dangerous as anyone else who's actively committing that crime in that moment.
Right.
Just by the luck of the draw, they got stung by a decoy instead of finding a real victim. The same, they can be making the argument of Robinson or of Crooks. They'd say, look at his behavior. Look at the dossier we've put together on him. Look at his online persona and look at the things he has said. Look at what he has privately planned with our agents. He doesn't understand that they're not his friends. He thinks they're, other people online that he's met and Lance Twiggs and other trans furries that are going to help him pull this off. Right. One of them willing to be a trigger man who he just, relinquished his gun to. And so that's how I think they set him up. They go, we've got this kid comfortable, believing that he's talking to 10 friends. It's all us. And then they put the agents in front. They say, here you go. This is the kid we're going to set up. Here's how it's going to work. He is fully willing to commit this crime. And so it's kind of like Minority Report. They go,
Minority Report. Exactly. That's right. Yep.
He thinks he's going to be the one giving his gun away to help kill Charlie Kirk. And then they go, and when Charlie goes down, he's going to believe his gun was the murder weapon. When he goes to pick it back up, he's going to believe he's acting as an accessory after the fact to a major conspiracy. Is that not enough to then take him? And the guys are going to go, shoot, I think maybe it would be, this is probably a good target. He's dangerous. If we don't do it to him now, he's going to do something worse later. He's only 20 now. Later.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
They go, we should get one of these Tyler James Robinsons off the street now while he's still technically not guilty.
Yeah. Ain't that, yeah, there's always that justification, it's like I've always said, even like your Liz Cheney's of the world, your worst, shittiest, human beings that we've had in our government that have made all these decisions. It's hard for me to believe that, and like Dick Cheney, and the list goes on, but it's always been hard for me to believe that they could sit down in a room, even in private, and say, okay, we need to kill these millions of people. This will be great. It's like generally there's some type of them taking the moral high ground and the better good, and that for whatever reason, even though they know what the collateral damage, the carnage, and the all the terrible effects that are going to come with it, but for some reason they're able to justify in their mind that it'll still be for the better. It's hard, and maybe they do, but it's hard for me to believe that a lot of these people sit down there and say, okay, we can make a lot of money off killing these millions of people. I think that they've got the incentive of the money, and at the same time, they're able to justify it away in their mind. who knows though what goes on in some of those people's heads, but it just,
I don't think it's anything different than like regime change. Like,
right.
not to make a big hoity-toity point, and I don't think it is, but I don't want it to be mistaken either. If someone looks at Gaddafi in Libya
Oh,
and
that was,
says,
that was,
we have to get rid of him. No, but I'm saying they make the same kind of case. They'll bring a dossier before a board and they'll say, we need to have your unanimous, just, approval to target and execute and remove this person. Here's what's happened. And they'll make the case for why they need to remove him and how bad he is and what he will do if we don't stop him. But the alternate case is never made, which is, here are the bad things that could happen that he's holding back by being in the position that he's in. And what bad things do we allow to happen by removing him? Like a rock in a dam. What happens when we remove him? Are we going to be flooded out? And the people selling you that bill of goods on the front end, the whole reason they're doing it is to get those bad things to happen on the back end. And you'd never sign up for it if you knew that. So like the agents seeing, Tyler Robinson shoots his mouth off online and would be willing to give his gun to an agent if asked. And right now he's being asked and he says, I'll give it to you. When can you come over and meet? So here the agents are sitting here going, he would do it if it were organic, but also it isn't organic. We aren't actual students helping him to plan this. He isn't coming up with this himself. He isn't going out on group chats asking, hey, who is willing to shoot Charlie Kirk? I have a gun, but I'm too pussy to use it. He's not saying that. We're putting all that in his mouth. Like we're basically putting the hook in the fish's mouth and then leading it onto land. And pretending that we caught a beach fish. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And the public can now see he's being railroaded. And I think the agents who are doing this, they have to be sold a bill of goods on the front end. Like, here's the world's most dangerous guy. We got to stop him now or he's going to do something. And in reality, it's like Minority Report. I don't think he was going to do anything. Maybe I'm wrong.
So, I mean, I have not doubted from day one that he was, and of course, I mean, obviously you don't either, but I've not doubted that he had a part to play and that he was involved. And I'm sure that it took all of this stuff that we have just been talking about to get him to that point. Did he think this up organically? Like did he think about actually doing this? Or like you said, were there signs and did he get, pushed in that direction? Regardless, I don't think he's completely innocent. I just don't believe that he did what he's being charged with. And yes, he's being railroaded.
Hey, do you think the woman that he was seen walking around with was actually Lance Twiggs dressed as a woman?
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I think,
no, I know you're not. Yeah.
Is it not possible that
it is
like he was being accompanied? Because we see like there's security footage, ring camera footage of him walking around being accompanied by a woman. Yeah. And I wonder if that
footage is also shitty, that.
Yeah. Well, people said like they saw him getting into a red car with a woman driving it. And I'm like, okay, so either there's a woman on the UVU campus who works with the ATF and the CIA, who's one of these trans people he thinks he met online, who's pretending and walking him in the right spot at the right time. Make sure Tyler Robinson's standing on the big black X. So the security camera gets his, all that. Or it's Twiggs and he's trying to present out as a woman and people mistook him for one that day. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely a possibility. And I've seen pictures from UVU that day. Now, they weren't good enough to 100% know, but I mean, appeared that they could possibly be Lance. I've seen some pictures of somebody that looked a lot like Lance. So, I feel like there's a good chance he was actually there, at least at some point. So, yeah. And,
also, the way that Lance looks enough like Robinson that if you put sunglasses and a hat on him, and then you said to an AI agent, here's the photo from the security camera, here's the photo of the target we need it to look like, make it look like just update it like this, just a touch. And then you update that photo. That looks more like the one we got, because the one we have doesn't actually look like Tyler Robinson. It just looks like an enhanced photo of another face. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's and look, Tyler has got a fairly, like he's got a pretty good jaw, like when you look at him, he's not just super, feminine and all that in the face. I mean, he looks a little nerdy, but I mean, at the end of the day, whoever was in that picture, and Lance especially, I mean, you look at Lance, I mean, like, he doesn't have a jaw at all. And whoever it was in a couple of those pictures, I mean, to me, they look more like Lance. That the little skinny, thin, narrow face, you know. I'm convinced that a few of those pictures are not Tyler for sure.
Right.
And I think that they would. I think that they look more like Lance than Tyler. Several of them.
Yeah, I think they're too grainy and too poorly. You know, if you enhance it at all, then you're taking away from what the image actually was. So, you know, if you see an image from the news, it's useless because they've enhanced it to try to make it look more like someone they don't know. That was the weirdest thing to me. But even seeing the grainy surveillance picture, it could be either person because you can't see their eyes, you can't see their cheekbones, and their hat's low. So I don't know. And that's maybe part of why they did that. And again, like if you're thinking like I am, that maybe Twigs is way more in on helping set up Robinson. Like Twigs is both playing the part of like the trans boyfriend who's in on it from that angle, but also in on it from the witness to the ATF and witness to the FBI prior to and working with helping set up Robinson. Then he would be aware of why it is so important that you're wearing a disguise that makes sure you hide your eyes and your identity. Because an AI software would be able to pick up and see that is not Robinson.
Oh,
so instead they enhance the image and release it to the public. So when you search photo of Robinson on campus, you see the AI enhanced one. And you cannot run an AI facial recognition software on a photo where the guy's wearing hat and glasses to determine that it isn't Robinson, because it would be exculpatory evidence. So there's a reason that it's important that Twigs would also look like him enough in a disguise to go be in a place on a, you know, at a time on campus, be seen and be photographed, and be able to use that as evidence against Robinson when it is not facial recognition proven. And you cannot see his eyes, cannot see the top of his head. And the only way that it was ever recognized to be Robinson is when it was enhanced. So that just
grainy ass pictures that
looking at that in hindsight, it's like, oh, so they were just making sure all the vectors of data pointed to Robinson. And it's very clear when they do that it wasn't actually him.
Yeah. You know, the prosecution has already, in my opinion, has already kind of tried to prepare people, the jury in particular, to not be able to recognize him or identify him, you know, conclusively, because they said, you know, Tyler Robinson was on campus and then he left and then he came back. When he came back, he says he's wearing a disguise of sorts. And, you know, he says that he had the sunglasses, the hat pulled down low. And so he even says to make it hard to positively identify him.
Right. So think about that. Imagine you're him. You think you're working out this secret plan with your boyfriend because he looks just like you, that you're like, oh, this is going to be perfect. Maybe they just watched The Prestige, got a little high and watched a fun movie. And they're like, wait, we could be doubles. You could be in one place. I could be the alibi in the other place. And then we could get away with crimes. And so maybe the witness Twigs is like, oh yeah, that would work perfectly for the plan that we're setting. Like, we don't know the other details that we don't know. But what we do know, we can see their actions and behavior, and we can see, why would you be on campus wearing one thing, identifiable, and then return wearing a disguise that makes you still identifiable, but not provably, and not with AI software to the, like, there's only two options. One, you're either intending to create like an alibi for the first guy, or you're intending to finger the first guy for the crime and make it look like he was the only one ever there.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense in my mind. And
appearing as one guy when you're walking around as two different individuals.
And the clothes changes just, I mean, make absolutely no sense.
Like they can say, oh, he put on a different t-shirt, but he was wearing the same shoes, but they're different shoes. Or he's wearing the same hat. So he just gets into the car, hands the hat and glasses to the buddy. And then the buddy puts on the hat and glasses and walks back out. And it looks like it's the exact same dude.
Yeah.
And he thinks, I'm doing this with my boyfriend so that I have an alibi. If he goes on campus, then it's not me, and vice versa. And in reality, it's just them painting him as the dude now wearing a disguise. It just creates more evidence against him. And all of this is just conjecture. It's a reason for why they would have done that if they're both there.
Like I said,
I don't believe he was.
I thought that was strange, or not strange, but I thought that was very telling when the prosecutor gets up there, basically says, we know Tyler was there. He leaves, and then he comes back, and then, oh, it's him. He's back, but he's hard to positively identify.
Right. So in other words, they didn't positively identify him. They're saying he was here for sure. Then he leaves. Then a person that we suspect to be him comes back, and that doesn't hold a case. Right? Their case doesn't hold up when he does that.
Right. And that's exactly what I think. And I think that, yeah, I can't wait for the trial to start, because to me, I'm not going to be able to pry myself away from the, from the screen until the thing is over. I tell you what, I do want to talk about that other subject real quick. If you don't mind, for real quick, I'm going to play a video clip. Guys, I was telling y'all about my first sponsor. Y'all will recognize my first sponsor. I'm going to just go grab me a drink and stuff while I play this, and then we will come right back to it. And I do want to talk about the other one, see what everybody in the chat thinks of that. Yeah, let me play this clip, guys. This is the second half. Y'all will recognize this person. He's a friend of the show for sure. Friends with Matt. Please go to his channel. He's got so much that he's been doing lately. Excellent editing, excellent acting. But he's got a bunch of good stuff on there, and go like, subscribe, all that good stuff. He's doing lives every day at 1 or 1:30, I believe. I will drop his link into the description after this, and y'all can go right to his page that way, or just look him up. But yes, last part of one of his videos. I'm going to go grab me a drink, play this, and then we're going to come back and finish up. I want to talk to Tommy about the other subject too. So I will be right back.
The challenges to another level, but again, the challenges started out with wholehearted fun. Now it seems more like Sauron, Voldemort, and Darth Vader started a private equity firm and decided, who could we invest into to push our kind of stuff?
Matt, you just need to trust me on this. The most popular content creator in the whole world, who has secretly joined our cause, is way better off showing people how little they matter to us unless they're willing to suffer for our entertainment. Then we'd be more than happy to give them a little bit of money and a tiny bit of meaning to their life for 30 seconds at the end of a Mr. Beast video.
I already gotta feel. Okay, so what happens to the audience?
They become convinced that they're living in the most important week of human history while somehow missing out on everything cool that's happening. It's a doom scroll slop cycle. Kids hate themselves afterwards and beg their parents to buy them things because that's how we taught them to feel validated these days. And then the adults, well, after they're done doom scrolling, they also feel like wasting their money. Because again, we taught them to feel validated by buying things. Everybody's miserable, except for people like you and me. They just want to feel like they're not missing out on next week. And trust me, they will. And the cycle continues.
Every single week?
Every single week.
That can't be healthy.
Matt, there's people who have spent 40 consecutive years believing that America is just 2 weeks away from a nuclear war.
Wow, that's incredible.
The funny thing is, most of those people still have to take their kids to soccer practice. Meanwhile, they're just panicking in the back of their heads the entire time.
So reality and the news are operating on completely different frequencies.
That's exactly it. Most people wake up, go to work, pay their bills, spend time with their families, and live basically ordinary lives,
while simultaneously consuming media that makes it seem like all of society is being attacked by mutant sharks, foreign agents, activist judges,
dangerous books,
dangerous movies,
dangerous tweets,
dangerous lawn ornaments, and possibly dangerous weather patterns, all of which distracts people from the real problem?
My friend, you are catching on beautifully.
But what's the real problem?
Well, we make the real problems, so we convince everyone the real problem is urgency. If our viewers believe that they can safely miss checking the news even once a week, then we've lost them. They need to feel like watching news is living.
So you need them checking their preferred content platform constantly.
Yes, we need them wondering what happened the 7 minutes they stopped looking.
Okay, but most of the time the answer is nothing.
And that's where headlines come in.
Yes.
A good headline says, something shocking happened.
Even if it hasn't?
Especially if it hasn't. The shocking part can always be added later or exaggerated.
Or just completely made up. That's horrible.
Thank you.
You're welcome, I think.
Then social media takes over, and that's where things become truly magnificent and magical.
Magical?
Okay, so an honest journalist, my least favorite kind, spends 6 hours working on an article.
Okay.
Then a random dude named Make Everyone Trans Again 6947 sees a 6-second clip of that article. And he misunderstands it.
Of course, it happens.
Then he posts about it.
Wait, why would anybody post about something they don't understand?
Then 1 million people become furious about, wait for it, something no one even said.
That's remarkably efficient.
Indeed, and we've streamlined the process too.
Tough luck, honest journalists. So eventually, nobody's informed, everybody's angry, and the truth gets hidden under thousands of opinions.
Bing ding a doodle, you, my friend, have just summarized modern media and news cycles in a single sentence.
Thank you.
Sadly, that means you'll never get hired by a major news network.
That's probably for the best. I'd rather make these YouTube videos anyway. If only people would subscribe.
Matt, you're never gonna get subscribers by sitting there feeling all sorry for yourself.
Okay, then what's the trick?
The trick is to get them to like the video, then comment on the video. And if you really want to milk them, ask them to share the video.
But what's the trick to get them to do all that?
You tell the audience that this isn't just pandering to them so you can get a boost in views and membership signups. No, this is about defeating our common enemy. Our channel has been targeted by the very people that's making your audience lives miserable. And now their suppression of our channel can only be fixed by one thing.
What thing?
That's when we try to sell them a crypto coin that everybody in the news has been talking about because we told them to talk about it.
Of course. Right when we have the audience's emotions, we scam them.
And the saddest part about it is some of the stories that we don't pay attention to actually matter. Corruption matters. War matters. Economic problems matter. Public policy matters. But scamming people is our family business. So we've got to do it as much as we can before they finally realize what we're doing.
But people get numb because everything is presented at maximum volume.
That's true. Because if every story is an alarm bell, eventually the real stories that do matter, people won't even realize matter because every story has been a big alarm bell.
That's actually kind of serious.
It is, which is why no one wants to talk about it.
Naturally.
They'll spend the next 3 days arguing about whether Metallica's guitarist actually thinks Taylor Swift is a CIA psyop.
What if he just clears up whether or not he actually believes that?
Matt, he has virtually zero incentive to do that because all celebrities grasp the concept that what matters more is how long you're talked about rather than how you're talked about. Because being in the conversation promotes your music.
Fair enough.
Remember this, Matt. If every day is treated like it's the end of the world, then when the end of the world comes, it'll be treated like just any other day. That's disturbingly cynical. Cynical, but profitable.
I'm interrupting this video right now because we got some breaking news coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have got to hear this breaking story. Whoa, did you see that? Is there actually breaking news?
Sometimes But honestly, nobody knows what breaking news even means anymore. Really? We just show it whenever the ratings are starting to dip. And what does that do? Well,
This is a Fox News Super Alert!
breaking news! Dave Rubin goes head to head with 20 Gen Z progressives and gets totally pwned. Dave Rubin sucks. That's the story? Yep, that's all we've got today. And people will actually watch that? Matt, Dave Rubin is one of our dumbest agents. We've been preparing him for this for a long time now. The day in which we sacrifice him in front of everybody. By tonight, there will be 6 panels, 3 documentaries, 5 podcasts, and a New York Times best-selling author book where Peter Thiel says, Dave Rubin got a loan from me for $5 million. And then Dave Rubin complained because Peter Thiel wanted interest on the loan. That's hilarious. Dave Rubin is so gay. I mean, he put the gay in faking gay. Let's be real. The best part is the $5 million loan that Dave Rubin got from Peter Thiel was for a house that Dave Rubin couldn't even afford. Oh, we are so doomed. No, we're not. We're not? Matt, the viewers watching need hope, so don't end on a sad note. Well, I thought I was shadow banned by YouTube, but my views are sort of coming back. That's perfect. We should put that on a t-shirt and put it in the merch store. Why? Because I'm teaching you how to monetize everything, even getting shadow banned and then realizing maybe you're not shadow banned.
That's good stuff. Guys, I pinned his link in the comments, so y'all can go check him out there too. I enjoy those. I think we need to see Friends with Matt and Scarrick collab. Maybe me and him and her can do something. I think that'd be good. Anyway, Tommy, what really caught my attention was you're the first person I think I've heard talk about it since way back when I was in the I paid a little bit of attention to the Q thing, you know, and not saying I was ever like bought into it, sold 100%.
Oh, I was a Q-tard.
Okay, look, since you
would,
said that,
I would text
was
a family member and go, do you even know? Do you even
Yes.
know what this is? And I didn't know, but I had heard about it and I wanted to
Yeah.
tell other people.
Well, if we're being honest, then yes, okay, I was bought in a little bit. And you know what? I still got hopes and dreams.
Gotta
Just
hold out 1% hope.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, honestly, before I even heard you say that, the thought did cross my mind. I mean, like there was always, I remembered that post, Saving Israel for Last, and I was like, what does that mean? You know, and there's
Means
just
they gonna
so
get cooked.
yeah, exactly. So this is before I want to hear what you got, you know, what you think about it. I want you to give us the spiel that you gave to Matt. But one thing I do want to say is that so if we saved Israel for last, okay, say we decouple from Israel, say we do it militarily, monetarily, however we decouple, you know, kick all the dual citizens out of Congress, whatever. So if Trump, you know, air quotes, does that, it would be a policy decision, some type of policy, you know, being enacted. Okay. We have already seen how this goes. You can have the best policy in the world. People can love it, can be great for the country. The second somebody else walks in the door, it gets undone. I mean, just the way it is. The only way to truly decouple is make sure that the public wants to decouple and that there is absolutely no appetite for any kind of relationship there anymore. That's all I'm saying. You know, so it is a thought, guys. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but you know, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, my my thought is that it's a bitter pill to swallow for a lot of people. What we spend in Israel every year, like 4 billion just in the standard aid. Here you go, write a check. Write a check. We're never going to see the money. Even if you can guarantee that they're military contractors based in America, all of the grift, the graft, the money off the top, the vig taken by all the headhunters and the finders over in Israel, that's where the money's going. The money coming back through the people's foundations and payments to campaigns and donations then funneled through and back to AIPAC to give to other people. That's all just to keep the wheel spinning. But the wheel is delivering all that money every year to Israel. So I don't think people are stomaching that anymore, but they hadn't known about it for that long. It's like, sneaking a pill into the dog's food every day. The dog doesn't know and eventually finds out that you've been given it a pill.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
people are
look,
waking
think
up
about
to
it.
it that way.
Some people that do not understand this issue at all, that don't pay attention, whatever, when they wake up one morning and say, okay, Trump completely separated us from Israel. We're no longer giving them money. Our militaries are no longer going to cooperate. We're not going to, the average person that really doesn't realize this is an issue, and there are a lot, is just going to be like, what the fuck? I mean,
well, right. And so this is why I've said that you have to make it so distasteful to continue to support them that everyone, left, right, and center, pulls back.
That's the only way to do it, because otherwise, when the next president steps in and decides to go, I mean, that'll be what they run on. We're going to get back with Israel, and people will vote for it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, when you hear people from the pro-Israel side of the issue, when they say, when challenged, what is the thing we get from Israel? They will say, we get critical intelligence on whether or not America is going to be attacked.
We know what Charlie's opinion on that was.
That when they say that sounds like what you're really getting at without saying it is Israel tells you when you'll be attacked or not, which is another way of saying Israel seems to be controlling the information on whether we know we're going to get attacked. It sounds like someone's threatening us without threatening us. They're saying, you continue to support us or we attack you, or you get attacked and won't find out about it.
Right. Yeah.
Which is the same thing. If they're aware of an attack because they help set it up, it's the same as them doing it. And so
yes. I mean, they're facilitating it.
They can threaten the 9/11 2.0 and say, it's not going to be our fault, but it's coming. Oh, it's going to come to you in America because you're not going to support Israel. We're not going to be able to help you enough. When they do that,
wasn't that said just about a week ago?
It's said every day. And my point is, when they say that out loud, when they're that transparent about what we're getting out of it, it's like, what do you get out of giving the bully your lunch money? Oh, you don't get beat up every day then. That's what Israel is telling you right now. So we've had to get to that point, and you have to be that clownish and you have to be that exacerbative about the issue. So Trump can't just say, it's not very good for us to support them anymore. We're going to walk away, because then he does look like he's doing what they all accused him of being. Hitler 2.0. He's going to he's dishing the Jews. He's going to leave them in a lurch in World War III. It's an existential crisis, and he's going to let them hang. And instead, now they have dog walked the United States. The world has watched as he has said, no wars, no new war. I'm not going to go to war with Iran. And then Israel allows him to do that. Everyone can see, if Trump allows Rubio and Vance, and by allows, I mean instructs and enforces that they go out and they have the statements made. First, it was Rubio in April. I think it was April 8th. He comes out and says,
told exactly why.
Israel has led us to believe that this was an existential crisis, that they had nuclear weapons. We did as Israel said, because they were going to strike if we didn't.
Yes, that was what I was going to say. Like, it was imminent, because we knew when they struck, because they were going to strike, that they were going to attack us.
So it doesn't, it makes us look weak for the moment, but it makes Israel's hold on us look that much weaker when we are coming out and airing that out now. Right. So like in the relationship and in the leverage, they've burnt all their credibility and goodwill with the White House, when the White House is saying, and this is the analogy I've made numerous times, but if Israel is just a monkey on your back that you cannot get rid of, and it's hard to convince the American people that there even is a problem with this monkey on your back to begin with, and the monkey's whispering in your ear, hey, I'm going to release Epstein files, whether they're real or not, and I'm going to ruin you and maybe kill you and maybe attack your family if you don't do what I say.
And for anybody in the chat that doesn't know what he's referring to,
no, I mean, they do. It's very obvious. The monkey on the back of America all the time is.
No, I mean about the Epstein stuff. Like, who was it that made that statement? Said if Trump doesn't get back in line, that that we have the real files, and we're going to release the real. Is that what you were talking about?
He didn't want to bomb Fordo, and then they had,
No,
look at this
no.
letter that Trump wrote to Epstein allegedly with a drawing of Borum.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they have all kinds of fake, real looking fake stuff. Oh, Trump was in the back of or someone else was in the back of a limousine on the phone with someone, and the limousine driver said he was talking to Trump one day. That's a story now in the news. So the guys with the hook noses who sing and dance all the time, they will release in the media.
Motherfuckers.
The Jewish media will tar and feather a guy with real or fake information, and it doesn't matter if it's a 1% true, if it just looks like it could be true. They'll do it. They'll release something that is true just to get rid of the person who isn't playing by the rules. So if they didn't have bad enough blackmail on Charlie Kirk and they didn't want to tar him up, they instead want to make him look like he's their best friend and isolate that moment in history, cut off any other credibility to, attack that claim and make him a martyr for Israel. Charlie was Israel's best friend, and Trump is instead walking that monkey on his back named Israel out onto the battlefield he said he'd never go out on, right? He told everyone, elect me and I will not go out there. The monkey's saying, you go out there.
You're going.
And you're going to be my human shield. I'm on your back.
You're going to dance.
If anyone takes a shot here, it's going to be you. I'm on your back. And Trump just walks out onto the battlefield. He is signaling to the Iranians, hey, not yet, not yet. And then he just does a quick turnaround. Hey, quick turn. And the monkey's taking all the shots. We can now walk away. With the world now knowing, as we see with this ceasefire going towards a peace deal, the U.S. wants nothing to do with this war. It wants to only be at peace with Iran and with the Persian people and with the other Gulf states. And it can really take or leave Israel at this point. And that's putting it politely. I think in reality, Americans feel like, no, we would need to leave it. We need to not take it or leave it. We need to leave it. And we need to leave it high and dry, possibly smoldering. And that's where we're going, I think. So the more they push, you see, you have Rubio in April saying it was Israel's fault. And now you have Vance this past week saying, if you're in the Israeli cabinet, you've already stepped in it. Bibi is wise not to have said this yet. But if you are critical of Trump, you better watch your ass.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people are now thinking, are we about to get turned into a little pillar of salt?
Yeah. Yeah. I look, I hate to, so there's such strong opinions, and I mean, it's emotional. I know, trust me, I feel it, but, there's people have such strong opinions on this. And again, I'm saying, no, I'm not really pushing either way or the other. I just figure it is definitely an interesting theory and it's worth just talking about. And I haven't heard many people talking about this.
I think it hurts them now, right? Not to cut you off, but Israel being tied to the U.S. still, they're now seeing the leverage has shifted. And now whether they want to think of it this way or not, just in this one moment, we have the power over them to leave them high and dry or to cut them off. And no matter what they do, they're going to lose hand and lose face. So you see Bibi now saying, we don't want any more American aid. We're going to decouple from America because they think, like the parasitic leech that they would be, we've got all the sucking we can get. We've got all the blood out of this that we can get. And so now we're at this weird trade-off point where we're making demands of them they don't want to follow. And they don't believe they need us anymore because our resources we're providing aren't as good as they used to be. Like if Trump is intentionally allowing them to not succeed in a war, then they feel like, well, what's going on? Are we being hamstrung? What's the deal? Why haven't we already conquered this? Like in Kyiv, why wasn't this a 90-day war? Like when they want to go invade Iran, why isn't Trump allowing for 15,000 boots on the ground?
Right. And why the one and only reason they've been able to have this, he brags about it all the time, this 7-front war, them being spread out all over everywhere. The one and only reason is because we take care of their, we handle anything that they can. So, the military aid, besides us always protecting them, is the only reason they've been able to do that.
The one thing that history would tell you, if you look at any kind of like battle history and war history is you will lose if you will lose the war trying to win individual battles and spread yourself too thin.
Exactly.
And so Israel looks like they continue to bite off more than they can chew. I don't know if it means it ends the nation or ends the geopolitical holy state that is Israel today. In the next 50 years, Mark Levin, who listens, but he is quoted as saying either the United States will exist or Israel will exist in 50 years, but not both, he says. So that's quite the claim / threat.
I was going to say, but if you have listened to him for 5 minutes, who he's betting on.
Totally. Well, and again, this is the push polling gambling that Polymarket and others do, where other Israel controlled entities like TikTok, it's not promoting the top things to the top because they're trending. They're promoting the things that they want to be trending to the top so that they become the trend because you've seen them. So they're going to make claims that are, truth claims that are not true. And they will become the historic record. And then that's what our kids will be taught. And that's their plan if nothing is done.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why I think that's what will be changing. I think is you're seeing that those truth claims be made and then you see reality not match them. And I think that's that 1% hope that I have. Like maybe Trump's ego is what saves the country because he won't let them tarnish and tar and feather his reputation while he lives. So some of this will just be too much for him to stomach. Eventually he'll just backhand them.
Right. Well, with Trump, he is so egotistical. This is one thing that people always say about him that is so, they think it's a dig on him. I mean, maybe in some cases it is, but regardless, the fact of the matter is he does have a huge ego. And I'm sorry, but, he is not going to want to go out of office and be known as the most controlled president in history. And so the way this is what has been blowing my mind about everything this whole time. Do you think it's the most controlled or the most transparently controlled? Transparently controlled. Let me rephrase. Yes.
No, and I'm not trying to challenge you. I'm just saying for the audience to hear it the right way, because I don't know if he's any more or less controlled. I think he may be less controlled, which is why you're seeing their grasp more.
Yes.
When you're in total control of your kids and you're total discipline, not about you, but proverbially, when a parent is in control of ones like the Von Trapp kids, like they came to a whistle, they came to an attention at a naval whistle, those kids came marching down the stairs in order.
Right.
So you never had to see him put a hand on a child. Israel puts the hand all over Trump, and Mark Levin is gripping Trump and going, "Oh, you rascal, you," because they have no control, because they feel their grasp is loosening, and they're like, so I think that's the desperation. Part of it is that you think, and I fall into this too, where I'm like, Israel is calling all the shots. But the fact that we're seeing it that way means that they're not calling some shots, because the other shot they'd call is make it secret, keep it safe, away from the people.
Yeah.
The people are seeing it transparently.
Yeah. Most. All right. So in previous administrations, this, like what's going on in Iran and other places, this would all be, there would be no conversation. We would just be there, and this public back and forth would not be a thing. For the first time, we are hearing about leaked phone calls where he's dropped F-bombs and said the whole world hates you. And if that's true that he said that, awesome. Even if it's not true, like the point of data of it being released to the public is what is the weapon of it. Like him saying that or not saying that is almost irrelevant. But the fact that it's released to the public and then the public cheers it, that's when he actually I don't think that phone call happened. I think that release happens. I think that headline gets published, and then he gets on a call with BB and says, "I don't know if you've seen the news, but a lot of people are very happy with what I allegedly said. I didn't say that, but I could say it. In fact, maybe I should say it. A lot of people think I should say it right now." Like that's the phone call he actually had. And then BB goes, "Oh shit!" Like it's a brushback pitch. You watch baseball. The guy's standing a little too close to the plate, crowding him up a bit, and the pitcher sends one by his nose to tell him what's up. Yeah.
So that's an inside pitch. And so BB, I mean, if you're watching the info war of it in the media, it's not that the story is true. It's that once it's published, it can now be used as a club.
Yes. Yes.
And that's true of every headline you see.
Yeah, and look, if you go back and you look at, oh my God, look at Iraq, look at Afghanistan, look at even the smaller ones, Libya, all of them. If you think that those presidents weren't as controlled, if not as controlled, more controlled, then I think that yeah, you're probably not looking at things at least the way I'm looking at them, because it was secret, but they were every bit. I mean, like that is exactly why we went to war, was for these people.
Yeah, I mean, imagine
But
you're
you
in
never
like
heard this. There was no pushback from us.
if you're in a mud pit and you're wrestling around with somebody and you're the one that keeps getting covered in mud, you're not doing very well.
Right?
And if people can't even tell you're wrestling with someone, they just think you're in a pit by yourself, covering yourself in mud. That's what America has been doing for 20 years in the Middle East. Now with Trump, you see that, oh, there is someone else in the pit wrestling an American, actually. It's not just us falling down, face into the mud over and again, constantly messing up, and we think it's just the deep state in our own country. Now we're seeing that it's actually another entity putting us face down in the mud, making us look like a fool. And so I don't think that that's them having the upper hand. It's us starting to maybe come back and win some of the momentum back in that public wrestling match. Privately, I think we've already pinned them. So I
That
think
is one
publicly,
thing that-
then you're able to shift public momentum and say, now that we have you pinned privately, you're going to do as we say, and the public exposition is going to now change. So Israel starts
Yes.
to make a fool of themselves, biting off more they can chew. Everything theatrically works to shift the historical rhetoric so that in 20 years, we can write a history book and it will show factually why we decoupled from Israel and then why Israel got eaten up in another regional war that they started that we were not a part of. And maybe that's what 2030 is all about. Maybe the big Armageddon they're concerned with is that they're preparing for World War III where we're not on their side.
Right. Right.
Wouldn't that be cool if we're like standing up against some new tech and it's Israel versus China and Russia and the US and all the, the cool guys together once again?
Look, I've done said, as far as this whole bombing campaign, we knew, or not the bombing campaign, this second round, Rubio comes out and says, look, the reporter says, how can you say that the threat was imminent when Tulsi Gabbard, your whole intelligence community says otherwise? And he's like, because, we know that Israel is going to strike them. And we also know that when they do, they are going to see us as the same, and that they will strike our bases and stuff in the region. So in that sense, it's imminent. I said that very day, I said, we would have been a whole lot better off, a whole lot less trouble, and definitely a lot less expense instead of that bombing campaign going towards Iran if we would have just turned around and just bombed the other country. you know what I mean?
Years.
Like, fire something off and we're fixing to make it hurt. And, I mean, that wouldn't happen, I guess, but
I see the chat. Heather says, screw Rubio. He's a fraud. And I agree.
Yeah, he's always
Rubio's some weird dude caught with a man with his pants down in a parking lot in the middle of the night with some dude. So I don't trust Rubio as far as anyone would, but I'm quoting him
doing what he's
because
told.
yeah, exactly. If he's in the room and he knows, like, I could be the next guy that Israel could pick to get behind, I could have the big job next.
Yeah.
One way to make sure he can't do it is if you put those words in front of him on a script and tell him to go read those. And now the same thing with Vance. Now that Rubio's down in the polling, you go put Vance out in front of every camera he's allowed to be in, and he goes and says, Israel better watch its ass, and all the people there better watch out. And America's your only friend, and we're barely your ally anymore. Like, that's a big statement.
Yes. And it's never been, and that's what I always scream it all the time. They've never technically been an ally. I mean, they literally, we call them our greatest ally, but there's not one single like formal treaty been signed or anything with them. We just literally are just right there when they call. But the thing with Trump, in 2016, and look, people that can't stand Trump will, and look, even if you don't like Trump, even if you hate him with everything inside of you, One thing I will say though is, and nobody can really deny this, is he understands the whole media space and how to shift public opinion. He understands the role of social media. You know, they said that his was the first presidency won with social media in 2016.
No,
and, you know,
that was Obama. Obama was the Facebook president in 2008.
right. Well,
They said Trump was the Twitter president.
yeah, Twitter president. But regardless, you know, so, but he understands. I've heard people make this argument like, what could be going on with Trump? Why would he do something so stupid? You know, talking about insulating him from the real public sentiment. Like he's listening to all the Fox News and they're not letting him see what's actually. Trump's not that dumb. Good guy, bad guy, great guy, whatever. I don't care what you think of him. He understands it, and I think he truly knows what the public sentiment is. So that being said, again, I say, why, why would you purposely burn yourself down in front of God and everybody? And so that's why I keep wondering, like, the only way to truly fix this issue is to have the public on board. It's sad, but you can't just show the public facts and expect them to come to the conclusion that they need to come to. But when that little country over there is the reason why you're paying $5-6 a gallon for gas, among a whole host of other reasons, then that changes people's outlook a little bit. You know,
yeah, I think just to jump in and add to that, it's about what we can end up seeing. And the actions are going to follow whatever reality dictates. So what I mean by that is we can think that they might be doing this. We can think they might be doing that. There can be all kinds of suspicion and conjecture and guessing, but the actions that they take and what results we end up seeing from them are what tell us what they've actually done. So whether it's the Charlie Kirk thing, we can see, you know, in hindsight, a lot more reason to be suspicious and to believe one thing over another, whether it's Trump with the Iran war and how we end up dealing with Israel. A lot of it is going to be more easily determined after the fact. Like even with however many months in that we are now, 4 months in, we can look and see now, hey, since Rubio said that, since Vance has been saying these things, since these actions and the responses from Israel, it's looking more like this instead of that. I think the more time that goes on, we're going to be able to see more of that structure. So we can guess at being right today. I think for the longest time, we can continue to say, I have been saying, I don't think Trump loves Israel. I think when he says these things, he's being a sycophant. He's placating them and, I guess, capitulating for the moment. You know, like he's going to give up the small battles. He's
a showman too. We know this.
And he'll allow for them to kind of make a fool of him day to day because the long-term plan is to decouple and to not have them have the control that they've had. Like it's been like people have said it's like a second nature for the US that every other country gets scrutinized, but Israel. Oh no, never Israel. Israel's like us, but we don't even apply our own laws to them. Right. Like now he's going to completely invert that. And with the public support, the left is for it. The right is now mostly for it. And the people who aren't are exposing themselves by contrast.
Yes. Yes. They are the one. Look, I mean, is it a coincidence that the Daily Wire is literally tailspinning, crashing and burning? Like, I mean, it's done, you know. Ben Shapiro is he's done. You know, a lot of these, and you know, you got your Mark Levins of the world. They are so irrelevant now, and more irrelevant by the day. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I thought it was an interesting thought, good thought experiment. You know, people, y'all got to come to your own conclusions. I guess maybe here in a few months, or whenever this finally settles, however it settles, maybe people can look back and be like, you know, because like I've said, Trump, it's not money, I don't think. I mean, I really just don't think it is. He's got all the money he needs. And so maybe he is, maybe he does have this true deep love for Israel, but I don't really think he's just, I really don't. I'm sorry. I just don't think that, I don't think that he's got this huge, I don't think he's such a sycophant. I really don't. I know it kind of appears like he does at times, but, I don't know. I've always felt like he didn't. And look, like I said, we'll see. He promised, he made a bunch of promises. We'll see what happens, I guess, at the end of the term. But to me, whether it's intentional or maybe it's just all by accident, at the end of the day, this is the one and only way to actually decouple from them, is to put the public through some pain and have everybody get on board with it. You know, if you don't have the public support, it's never going to last. Ever. You know, and we're to the point now with all of the APAC trackers, and you know what I mean? Like, this is, a lot of people a couple of years ago wouldn't even know what APAC was. And now, you know, it's become a major topic of conversation. And you've got
something suspicious about the APAC tracker. They blocked me on X. I don't know. I'm
really
at Tommy Borum jokes on X. At Tommy Borum jokes on X. You can follow me there.
Yeah, yeah, please do. Go follow him and give him a follow on YouTube too. But you got like your Gary Meltons, you know, they always melt down Melton. He was that quote unquote debate with him and Bays last night. They got kind of touched on the whole Israel thing for a minute, and he was like, you know, everybody talks about their influence and blah, 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 blah. What about Qatar? Like they spend so much more, you know, talking about how they putting it into our schools and everything. And then he slipped up because he had to go back and correct it. I would rather Israel be putting this money into campaigns than Qatar, you know, funding and funding and having any kind of control over our college or colleges here. And then he was like, well, actually, I really don't like the fact that any foreign money goes to our campaigns. I thought, yeah, you probably said it right the first time. So I don't know. I'm fixing to have to go do some real work. I could sit here and talk about this forever. We definitely got to do it again. Maybe not so far in between this next time, because the chat, everybody enjoys you, and I enjoy cutting up. I enjoy chopping it up with you too. So
yeah, I appreciate hanging out with you. It's been nice to chat.
Yes, absolutely. And everybody, like I said, go find Tommy. Go find him on X and on YouTube. And I don't remember if I dropped his links in. I'm so bad about not doing it, but I'll also have them in the description. So y'all can also find him there. So yeah, I say we do this again, and maybe do it a whole lot sooner than we did this last time.
All right. Well, thanks again for having me on.
I'll make sure my kid don't go to sleep in here the night before. But it's a shared space. I'm not big enough to have my own studio, so one of these days, right?
Well, yeah, like I said, I appreciate you having me on, and look forward to talking with you again. Thanks again.
All right, buddy. Yes, sir. We will do it soon.
See you later.
All right, buddy. Bye. All right, guys. Hey, check out the replay, Jason. It was a really, really interesting conversation. Tommy is great, super smart, and you never have to worry about any dead air. That's one thing I like. I like to be able to sit here and just chop it up without having to, think of something to say or what have you. It's just we both like to talk and both got ideas, and yeah. Anyway, as I said before, I'm not endorsing any particular thoughts or views on that. I know people are really, really at both ends of that whole argument, but I thought it was interesting, something to just consider. Thought I'd change it up a little bit for the day, which we got in some Charlie Kirk too. So anyway, let me real quick Cody Nichols. Let's see what we got here. Well, oops. Hold on. I can't click on it there. Oh, where's it at? Where's it at? Man, I love that there's this much conversation going on. I apologize for maybe not being quite as interactive with the chat as normal, but it's I try, but you know, my mind can only handle so many things at one time, so y'all have to forgive me. Here we go. Oh, his book is officially published, so you'll understand why it had to come first. I'm nearly in position, and then the videos return. I believe my first video may leave Graham reconsidering a lot, and hopefully lead to truth being spoken. This should be interesting. Absolutely, Cody. And if you want your first video to maybe not be solo, you are more than welcome to jump on with me, and we can do it that way. If you want to do it solo, though, I get that. But regardless, I would definitely like to do one with you in the near future. So, and thank you very much. Are you sure you didn't accidentally push one too many 9 in there? I mean, if I really, really appreciate if that was intentional. If it wasn't, you just let me know though, because I understand. But thank you for the for the generosity. And I think I saw one more down here. Oop, let's see. Yep, Cody Nichols again. Thank you, Mr. Cody. Here's some cash for college. Appreciate that. I might end up using that for state championship instead of college, but you know. Let's see. Wait a minute, dude. All right, now this can't be that has to be an accident. Different groups in society think through different mental frameworks. If you understand those frameworks, especially if you help shape them in the first place, you can control the input and often predict the reaction. Understanding how people think is power. Absolutely, no doubt. Dude, let me know if that was an accident. I don't even know what to say. But just in case it was intentional, thank you very much. So generous. I don't even know what to say. Except whenever this book is available, everybody, y'all really need to go get a copy. I feel like you will probably enjoy it. I'm definitely going to go through it very, very soon, just as quick as I can get my hands on it. And more to come on that. We will be talking more about his book and all the related info in the near future. Cody Nichols again. God, dude, you're killing me. I appreciate it. I was already planning to do it that way. All right, guys. I just don't even know what to say now. Thank you so much. Oh, me, dude. I want to see you grow. Not looking to profit off my information. I would rather that information help your channel grow. I told you this. Absolutely, dude. And look, I am definitely ready to start putting some of that stuff out and talking about it. And I know that these people in the chat are excited to hear about it. So, you know, anything that kind of helps us understand why we are in some of the predicaments that we're in and how to possibly correct course is will be much appreciated. Very welcomed and much appreciated. So guys, I got to go do my real job. I'm kind of late here. Went a little long, so I'm gonna get off here so I can do my real job. Guys, thank you so much for for showing up and all of the chats, all the engagement. It is always great, and love seeing all of y'all in here. Any new people, please make sure you're subscribed. We got Scarrica coming up, and then we've got we'll have John Bray once a month, and yeah, all kinds of good stuff in between. So please like the video if you have not done it. Please like the video, share on any social medias you got. That's always appreciated. And I know tomorrow's Friday, so I may not be doing a morning one. I don't generally do a morning. I did think about maybe popping on. I got something I really want to do, but I don't know. I'm going to I'm going to talk to Scarrick as soon as I get off here, see if we can figure out a good time and all that. So Scarrick coming up next. And guys, I appreciate every single one of you. And y'all just keep an eye out for a thumbnail and maybe for a post. So yeah, guys. Again, thank y'all so much, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of y'all right back here real soon. Thanks, guys.
When the facts get twisted and the lies